Hello, Michelle. I thought I would take a moment just to try and show you briefly how Google Drive works. Google Drive and Google Documents are sort of synonymous. So what I'll draw your attention to is you can see if I hover my mouse here, you can see that I'm signed in. So within Google, I've actually signed into it. Okay, so if you have a Gmail account, you can sign in. So if you sign in, for example, if I click this, it'll show my Gmail account. Okay, so I'm signed in. Here's my Gmail. And what I'm going to do is, once I'm signed in, by the way, you actually have to sign out if you want to stop looking at this kind of stuff, just like signing out of your Gmail account. So what I want you to look at is in these little applications here, if you click them, the one to look at is Google Drive. So this is just like a My Drive. It's not a hard drive, but it acts just like a hard drive, but it's in the cloud, so it's saved up in Google. So here's all the different folders I've created, and then there's a bunch of files I haven't put in a folder anywhere. I can change how I view these things by clicking here. So here's the list of folders. Here's some files that are not in any particular, they're just laying on my desktop, so to speak, laying on my drive here. Okay. I like the grid view or the list view. So the neat thing is you can, let's see if I go to North Bay Yacht Club. So I created a folder. I went new folder, and I created a folder earlier called North Bay Yacht Club. So I could go new folder. So here's a new folder that's saved on my drive. This is a new folder. It's saved on my drive. If I double click it to open it, you can see there's nothing in here. So let's say I create a new document. And I might call this Harbor Operations. And let's say, for the sake of argument, I'm going to put a table in here. It doesn't have to be, but I could say date, name, problem. And now that I'm in here, I'm going to actually insert another column on the right. And then solution. I'm just making this up. And I'm going to just change the page setup actually to landscape. There we go. Okay. So what you could do with this is you could say on a particular date, you could go ask people to enter the date. Give their name, problem, wires. I just enter that in. And then we realize there's no solution there. So this is just an example of how you create a document in Google Document. I could then give this thing a name, but if I just click here, it'll automatically put the first line of the document in there. So Harbor Operations. Okay. And this is automatically saved. So if I close this, you can see there it is in my drive in the folder, Michel Mina. So if I go to my drive, into this folder, there's the document. I could create a new one and call it whatever you want. You could also create a spreadsheet if you wanted. this is like a typical spreadsheet, Michelle, and just like an Excel spreadsheet, however you want to set it up, okay? I imagine you're comfortable with spreadsheets. Okay, now if I close this, notice I haven't saved it. If I close it, it saves automatically within Google Drive. It's always saving, so I can just click that, and I think if I click this, it'll give it that name. No, you got to type it in on this one. Okay, so now I've got two things in my folder. Now, so far so good, but nothing fancy, right? Like, what's the big deal? The big deal is the ability to share documents. Okay, so this document now, Michelle, you can access from any computer. You can, so as long as you go to any computer, go to Google and log in, then you'll see this document, right? So if I close this, if I sign out of this, close that, and if I go to Google, you can see that I'm not signed in. So I'll sign in. I can either click here, click here, or click here. Let's say I go to sign in, and I'm going to use a different account. Email account. So now you can see I'm signed in if I hover my mouse. I don't want to go to Gmail. That's the most popular one. That's why it's sticking out like this. But I'm just going to go into the apps and go to my drive. Here's my drive. There's Michelle Minos folder, Google Harbor Operations. And what you can do now is you can share this. So I can go share, and I can enter your email address. There it is right here. From my contacts, it knows it. And I can say right crap that you can edit it. Okay. I'll also put a note here. So I'll say, hi, Michelle. Please view the email I have sent that entitled which explains why you are receiving this. Hit send, you're going to get that. Okay. Boom. So when you log in to your Google Drive, like when you log into Gmail next time you check your Gmail, you'll have an email, I believe, saying you've been invited to a document. Then just go Drive, and you'll have nothing here because you haven't created anything yet. But in your shared folder, if you go here, you'll see that document I just sent you. Okay. And you'll be able to open it, edit it, and do whatever you want with it. So that's one of the cool things about Google Documents, that you can create documents and share them with others. And when you share them, for example, Harbor projects, you might want to share this. Like you'd put detailed descriptions of the projects you're working on, some cost estimates maybe. Share. You might want to share it with everybody in the club and just allow them to view it. Okay, and then for some people, you would allow them to edit it. So people on your project, Harbor Projects committee would be able to edit it, but only all other members would just be able to view it. Okay. Now, for people who don't have a Gmail account, because a lot of people wouldn't, you could also just get a shareable link. So you could have people who could view this, share with others, and you get a shareable link. So it's just for viewing. Click that. Now, here's anyone with the link can view. So you copy this. Now that link, you can email to everybody in the